So,
Okay.
Alex, I see first off that you are wearing an LA Kings sweater there. You're repping the local team there. Do you have a hockey interest? I don't know how big hockey is down under.
Yeah, so when did I come here? It would have been March, not March last year, March the year before. After I fought Zombie, I went to an LA Kings game. So yeah, went there and they looked after us, and I've been an LA Kings fan since. So I've been to a couple of games now, and it's always good there.
Right on, right on. So, we've seen a lot of you on video lately. Putting out interesting content. What the first one I want to talk about? There's a couple things I want to touch upon. I think you know what the main one I'm going to get to is. But before that, even I saw there was a clip you were talking about your daughter's being scared at night, right? You had the whole story, lining up, and the punchline being she asked, "What if Islam Makhachev comes in?"
Yeah.
Great delivery, great gag, love it. Did that really happen? I got to ask you, did she really say that?
Yeah, she did. But like I said, it was funny because when I say she I don't, she wasn't scared at night. It was just, they're always trying to, stay awake. I was like, oh, I need to go to the toilet. Oh, my hair, I want you to do my hair again. Or you know how it can be.
I know
So it's
very much, yes.
yes, and so that's what it is. I'm like, come on, darling. Like, and then she ends up going. But this night was, oh, I'm scared. I'm like, darling, the door's open like it is every night. I'm just here. The lights on down there. You'll be right. You know what I mean? And then she's like trying to play. You kept playing on that because at the start I was just like, come on, darling. Enough. We know what you're trying to do here. No, but what is this? I'm like, darling, look, enough. I'm a world champion, mate. No one's gonna break in. And then, oh, what if it's this window? Darling, I'm world champion. What do you think's going to happen if I grab home? Oh, what if it was Islam Makhachev? And then she throws that out there. So it was quite clever, and
They know how to
cheeky.
take you down a peg, don't they?
Yeah, exactly right. They're exactly
Hmm.
right. It's always the kids that'll pull you up.
But,
So
but you
that's
don't
how
take yourself that seriously, Alex. You don't take yourself all that seriously when we see you. I mean, I know you take your craft seriously, but you're kind of let things go off of you. You're pretty easygoing every time I see you.
oh
Is that
mate,
fair to
that
say?
was yeah, of course. I thought that was playful, and it was just more of you would think that someone would be like, oh, that was, some people might look at it like, oh, she was being a bit rude there or ruthless. Kids can be ruthless, obviously, but it was more the way I was, because I was playing it off like, I'm the man. Don't worry, no one's gonna mess with me. And then she's just went, "Oh, are you?" And then just sort of threw that at me, and I was like, "Wow, that was me and Emma, my wife. Emma and I just started laughing and just like, all right, enough."
Oh, sure. Well,
So
she
I've
is the
told that
devil.
story. I've told that story quite a few times because I think it's hilarious.
Oh, it is great. It's great. But obviously the other one too is that long form commercial you guys did, poking fun at being old at age 35. Everyone loves it when you pick up the phone and start giving out your credit card number, and all this was great. Um, do you ever think about, because you have pretty good poise for the camera, you're pretty camera ready, it seems like. Do you ever think about like acting, and either at home in Australia or in the US?
I mean, I don't think of that now, like, I mean, because I'm fighting, but I mean, obviously, I need to do a few. So I've had to do a couple of little gigs for promos or for. I've done a couple with sports bet, um, but yeah. So like, I'll do a. I enjoy it. I actually love it. Like, I actually did two this camp, so I did that one, and then there's another one coming out. That yeah, that it hasn't been released yet. So that's for another ad for another like sponsor, but um. But yeah, like I really enjoy it, and like everyone's really surprised because it's always different crews that I'm working with, and they're always like surprised, like they don't expect some athlete to go out there and just one take, do these things in one take, and be like, and even add my own flavor. Like they might have a direction. I'm like, oh, can I add this? I'm like, yeah, keep that in. That was great. Like, you know what I mean? And I'll just boom, smash it. Like, and they're like, wow, like, you are very
Yeah,
good in front
maybe
of me.
one
You
day
know what I
there
mean?
is a
Like,
career.
oh man, I think so. I enjoy it as well. So I've already had a lot of people like, oh mate, you should definitely look into this. I'm like, oh, well, I'll keep fighting and maybe later.
And you're in LA right now. I mean, hey, maybe don't put it off. You're right close to Hollywood. Might have to try.
E- Exactly right. You know what I mean? So that's where we're going to end up. So I'm sure we'll get a couple of gigs after that one, but you'll see a few more coming out soon anyway.
Now, as far as that, the whole age 35 thing, this is, it's been a very growing narrative when it comes to not just you, but any fighter who hits this number. The questions start to come up. And obviously, you don't put much stock in it. You're poking fun at that kind of thing. But when you look at that, Obviously, it has come up in general for other fighters, but of lighter weights, 170 and down. But when you look at it, why are you going to be different from some of those other examples we've seen?
Because especially people in champions in my position, like a lot of them, obviously not all of them. There's a lot of. I'm not saying that I'm the only one, but I don't let this championship life distract me. I'm still just dad and that same guy that's always in the gym trying to be better. You know what I mean? So until I start seeing the decline in my performance, all right, then I'm going to start. I don't care about numbers. Like all that's nothing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that might be the case where they might be slowing down because they're probably not in the gym or like they're probably not doing the rehab properly and things like that. But where I am, and I'm doing, and I just know that I'm different. You know what I mean? So, and I prove that time and time again. So until I start seeing declines in certain things, I don't give a damn about any stats. So
Sure.
that's just how I look at it. So it is not getting to me one bit.
Sure, and you're coming off another active year, 3 fights for you. I mean, this is kind of how you like to roll, right? At least 3 fights in. Two of them were against Makhachev and lightweight, but do you kind of look ahead at this year and say, I'd like to fight 3 more times again? And do you envision they would probably be focused at 145?
No, I think there'll be a lightweight fight. So I think I do my thing this weekend. And then I'm back in there pretty soon for a lightweight fight. I'm not expecting to get a title straight away, but there's so many big fights at lightweight that are exciting that I would love to do. And I can build while I'm defending my belt and waiting for number one contenders. I can, um, you know, build my case for another title shot in the lightweight division.
You've been critical at times over your reign about, there's not been enough guys who've been solid contenders in that and the kind of thing here. Obviously, I think we're looking at someone, and maybe you disagree. I think you probably would agree. We're looking at someone in Ilia Topuria who has kind of really cemented himself as that next challenger. Do you see it that way? Is he like the rightful guy?
Oh, he's the rightful guy right now because of the timing. Has he fought the right guys or the top athletes to or the top contenders to get himself to a number one contender fight like a lot of the other guys? No, maybe not. But I've taken out all the other top guys. He's clearly next. So it's clear that he is the next guy, but he is just lucky for the timing because he's had a lot easier sort of way to the title fight.
Sure, sure. And there's a lot of momentum behind his name, especially there's a lot of buzz. People talking about
There's hype
putting
and
him
all
in the
that. So he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job, and that keeps it exciting for me. So he's clearly the next guy, and he's hyping it up, and everyone's excited for this one. So couldn't be happier with the opponent that we have right now.
Why do you think people are so interested in him as the opponent? It seems like there's a different hype behind him than there was against probably Max Holloway is the closest you'd have as far as your challengers would go.
Well, I mean, it's just I guess he's undefeated, and I think a lot of people are more interested to see this fight and look at this fight as like, oh, is more of a challenge. It's probably because of me coming off a loss, KO loss, the whole 35 curse. How is he going to bounce? There's a lot of these questions. So now they look at this like, ooh, what's going to happen? So it makes it a lot more. Where obviously a lot of my other featherweight fights, I've went out there and made it look reasonably easy. Now people are like, oh, maybe this isn't going to look easy because of this. So they're excited, and he's doing a great job. He's undefeated. He has looked good in them fights. So yeah, man, he's just playing the part right, and he's the perfect guy for me right now. Perfect guy for my legacy and my story right now.
And there's a stat out there. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but my understanding is Topuria has not thrown a head or body kick in his UFC career. He threw, before he got to the UFC, but it's been 7 fights since he's thrown that type of strike. Is that something you and your team were aware of as well? Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, we're obviously aware of it, but I mean, I'm short, so he's probably, he probably can throw the high kicks now. You know what I mean? Like, I've always thrown head kicks even at taller guys. I can get my legs up there, but they're not going to be, they don't have to be powerful, but there's ways of using them in different ways. It's not a part of his arsenal. After seeing my last fight, I'm sure he's going to try and throw it in there. But I mean, that could just make things more awkward for him. Maybe he just sticks to what he does best. Maybe he's just backing his whole skill set that's got him to where he is. He might not want to add too much to it. We'll see. I think I'm expecting more of a boxing version of Ilia like that we've seen. You know what I mean? If he wants to throw kicks out there, sweet. I'm ready for him.
Sure, sure. And kicks, low kicks especially have been a big part of your game in many fights that we saw it against Max, especially in a lot of those fights. I mean, that seems to be a tool that would be a very effective tool in this fight, especially if you're expecting a boxing situation. Fair to say? Does it sound
I
like
mean,
it could be a part of the mix?
like it's not giving anything away. If that leg's there, I'm going to take it. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So is he doing things to make sure that leg's not there? Is he doing things to make sure he's countering the kicks? And I'm sure he's going to want to set up some things with my kicks. So I'm sure he's waiting for him. He's going to be ready for him. But yeah, so it's obviously something that we know. He knows. I know he'll be training for, and he knows I'll be training for. But again, there's going to be a right way to go about him. So if he wants to change his stance and change things up and really want to focus on that, that just does me more favors.
Sure, sure. What you've seen of him, and now you've had a lot of time to look and that kind of thing. What makes him dangerous? What is it that makes him such an effective opponent for you in this, or a potential of the effective opponent in this fight?
I mean, I've always thought the only way I ever lose at featherweight is someone having a puncher's chance or someone catching me. And he's got good timing with his counters and good boxing and power. So obviously that's a tool that you need to be careful of. You know what I mean? Do I think it's going to be hard for him to land him? Yes, but you've got to respect that because he's a powerful dude. He's always well balanced, especially when he's firing them shots. So you just need to make sure you're not there.
This is his first UFC title fight. This will be your ninth. What sort of experience or lessons like have you picked up along the way in so many championship bouts that would be a definitive edge over him because he couldn't quite understand. He doesn't have the experience that you do in this situation.
Yeah, well, he has it. He doesn't. He doesn't even have the experience against the top echelon of fighting or opponents. You know what I mean? Like I've fought the best in the world. You know what I mean? I've fought absolute legends with a lot of different skill sets. There's experience there. There's experience in title fights. There's experience of being main event. There's experience in all these things, but not so much for him. So it's definitely gonna play into this fight, especially when you've got the right guy to leverage that. I can leverage that. We know that my fight IQ and preparation and I got all the right stuff to really use all these things and really put all that pressure on him in there.
Last question I have for you is, you just recently, in the last couple of weeks, I believe, became one of 8 fighters in UFC history to hold a title for at least 1,500 consecutive days. It puts you in a very select or a group of people, obviously. You're about a year away from passing Jose Aldo on that list. Well, that doesn't count the WEC reign. I don't know how much you look at that and weigh that in there as well. But your aim is to be the featherweight GOAT, right? That is something you've spoken about a lot. At what point do you say, that's definitely me? I've done enough. I am the GOAT.
Oh man, it's not up to me. I'm not here to try and say that. It's not up to me. It's what other people. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to make sure I'm fighting the best out there. You know what I mean? Make sure not only is it defenses, it's who I'm fighting. You know what I mean? It's that's how I want to look at it. So the bigger the challenge, the bigger the legacy. So that's yeah. So I'll just keep taking guys out. I'm taking out all these different new era, not era, new evolution. Is that the right word? So like there's so many. I've went through a couple of them. I went from the legends to the new school to
New
another new school.
generation, is that what you mean?
New generations. There you go. So you keep doing that, like new generations of skill and things like that, and taking out these guys. I think I did that with Yair Rodriguez, and I'm going to do that again this weekend.